I would like you to talk about the applications of this algorithm to start with.
Sure. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the session. Yep, sure, absolutely. So, association rules is one of the data mining unsupervised learning techniques. And association rule has multiple names. Let me share my screen and quickly explain. These are the various names. Association rules is also called as market basket analysis, affinity analysis, relationship mining. And this is a technique which is part of unsupervised learning, machine learning, unsupervised learning, or descriptive modeling technique. One of the use cases which I personally was involved while I was working with a different company prior to starting our own company was related to life sciences healthcare. We know that clinical trials are critical for any pharmaceutical company to become profitable and become successful as well. Usually, people say that for a clinical trial to become a success, it takes anywhere between 5 years to 15 years. And because of COVID, and thanks to artificial intelligence and machine learning, people have reduced that duration to 1 year. Okay, and that is the reason why we have seen the COVID vaccine come to light so soon. Of course, it was need of the hours, so a lot of money was getting pumped into this. Having said that, when it comes to association rules, one of the application was to look at what are the various interventions. Interventions means what are the various drugs which have to be provided to the various people. And what is the condition which is being addressed because of that? So interventions and conditions. Condition is disease. Interventions are drugs. Usually when we have any disease, we do not have a single drug. I mean, in most cases, we don't have one drug which will cure your disease. We need to use combination of drugs. So what are the combination of drugs which have a very close association with the disease? Of course, to cure the disease. So in this business problem, tuple that we create is critical. And the tuple that we have created was combination of drugs alongside the disease. This is one project that we have done. And we could figure out what are the combination of drugs which will cure a disease. And this we have done only for successful clinical trials. Because our goal was to increase the success rate of the clinical trials which were being performed. This is one of the applications. Alongside that, we have done a project as part of InnoDataTix. It was for one of the beverages company and one of the gold standard companies without naming that company. And here, approximately, $1 million, or rather, let me take one step back. And let me tell you that it was approximately, I think I need not take a step back. Approximately $1 million was spent on purchasing, components and storing these components in inventory. This was for one of the manufacturing plants. And within manufacturing plants, obviously, you'll have machines, and machine components might fail. Components fail. Right? So when the components fail, immediately from the inventory, you'll take the failed component. I mean, not the failed component. You take the component which is working and then replace with the failed component. $1 million was spent on one inventory. I mean, people were using one inventory per location. And in this way, this particular beverage manufacturing company has 17 manufacturing plants. What does that imply? That implies 17 inventories. What does that imply? $17 million being spent just to, procure the components and place it in their inventory. We wanted to establish a relationship between what are the various components which fail frequently. So here, the tuple that we have come up with was, what are the machines which fail frequently and what are the components that fail? So components and machines which fail, because each machine will have thousands of components once again. It is not possible to procure and keep each and every component in the inventory. If that is the case, then a lot of money would be blocked, right? So $17 million for 17 inventories for a few components of a few machines. If you place, that's the cost. If you, obviously you cannot, procure all the components for all the machines and keep it in your inventory. That means your costs would escalate significantly. And people look at what is going to happen if I were to invest $17 million in some other business opportunity. Or if I were to just place this money in the bank, then what is the amount of interest that one would get? So one is the interest that you're losing. Another thing is you could have probably invested this in a better, business opportunity and made a lot of money. So you lost the opportunity, that's opportunity cost, as well as you lost the interest that you would have accrued over a period of time. So we have looked at what are the various components which were failing frequently, plus the machine, which was frequently failing. And once we formed a tuple like that, we could figure out critical components. And then we have directed the manufacturing plant, the logistics department, to only procure the critical components which were failing for a specific machine. Not just that, the applications of this are also used in real estate. Once again, when it comes to real estate, you look at what are the various crimes which are committed, various crimes. And we also look at what is the location where these kind of crimes are committed. And how would this help? Yes, this obviously will help real estate agencies to devise better strategies, because a location where there is a very strong association between the crimes and the location, the real estate costs would significantly go down. Okay, and the locations where the crimes are of low magnitude, like someone just doing some kind of a petty theft, etc. There, in those kind of locations, the real estate cost can still be high, or they can be at least average, not below average. But the locations where crimes are very high, there the cost would not go up, right? So investing in these kind of locations do not make sense. So it's not just for the real estate companies, it is also for the home buyers. Okay, these kind of models significantly help. And it also helps in inventory management. So, Amazon has come up with something called as anticipatory buying model. Long back, not now. I think 2014 or even before that. Amazon has come up with anticipatory buying machine learning model, where they have tried to come up with a tuple, and they figured out that these are the bunch of products which would get purchased in a specific location. So when you combine the products plus the location and form a tuple and see what are the products which are getting purchased extensively in a given location, then you can devise a strategy to anticipate what will be the demand for what kind of products in which location, thereby ensure that your inventories are filled with these kind of products. What would happen if you do this? When customers place an order, very easily and within a shorter time, you can deliver the products to the customers. So in this way, there are umpteen number of other use cases or applications of association rules. But the point that I'm trying to drive here is that defining tuple is going to decide on how effectively you would be solving the business problem of the client. So, yep. So these are a few of the applications here.
Thank you so much.